That's a tough question because obviously you put them in jail, they can't work and they can't contribute to the support, but yet and all they can't be allowed to feel that they can get away with it, so to speak.
You know, I guess the court's got to come up with an alternative to have people get their lives together so they can pay the child support.
The old-fashioned way of garnishing wages. Of course, if they're not working, it's rather difficult.
Put them in jail, man. The point of being a real man is providing for your kid, and if you can't even do that, then you know, shouldn't be allowed to live on the streets.
No, I don't think we need more people in jail. I don't think that helps anybody. The kid can't see their parent at all.
Maybe not let them renew their driver's license.
One thing I think you shouldn't do is suspend their license because they need their license to become self-sufficient.
Deadbeat dads deserve some kind of punishment.
Dads who don't pay their child support should never be able to see their kids, period.
Put them in jail, well, then they won't be able to pay the bills.
Direct garnishment of wages. If they don't have a job, jail time.
We should assist them in getting a job so they can pay. If they're not going to do it, you need to compel them in a more forceful manner.
If you're able to take care of yourself, you can provide for your kids somehow, even if it's just a little bit.
We should have social service agencies out there to be able to help assist these guys in finding employment so that they can pay child support.
I think any program that allows fathers to fulfill their obligations to their sons and daughters is a good thing.
Fatherhood is special. Okay, you're welcome.
Good evening from Rocky Mountain PBSI News. I'm Cynthia Hessen. This is Colorado State of Mind. What are your views on the estimated 31,000 non-custodial parents in Colorado who are out of compliance with court orders to take care of their children? Non-payment of child support has a big ripple effect in families and communities. And right now in Colorado, it's a $1.17 billion problem. That is to say, the total amount which is in arrears owed to parents who have custody of their children and depend on the other parent to contribute. Tonight, iNews brings you a special report on child support with the help of reporter Julia Martinez, the Colorado Department of Human Services, and filmmaker Steve Liss. And we will see the documentary Steve has shot and then intersperse a couple of other interviews for perspective on this. So I'd like to start with Lynn Johnson, who leads the Department of Human Services in Jefferson County. And Jeffco is one of the counties which has been trying out some new approaches to go after this money that is owed to children, and that is really to get out in front of it for parents who may be jobless or homeless. Is that right?
That's correct.
10 years ago, what happened?
But about 10 years ago, a little bit longer, our staff started looking at the enforcement concept. They wanted to know, why was it, no matter what you did, put somebody in jail, take away their driver's license, do whatever type of enforcement sanction on what was called back then on the deadbeat dad, why were the child support payments still not increasing? So we started looking at the four quadrants of people who are who have been in divorces that have children. We have those that are willing to pay, able to pay, and do pay. We have those that are willing to pay, but they're not able to pay. We have those that are able to pay and not willing to pay, and those that are not able and not willing. We focused on those that are willing to pay but not able to pay. We started talking about, what if we did services instead of enforcement? What if we took that dad who passionately would love to see his kids, helped him find employment, helped him get training so he could get a paycheck so he can then pay his child support. We started doing that, changed from child support enforcement services to child support services, changed how we work with non-custodial parents, and we saw an increase in our child support payments.
Which is exactly what you'd want to see, isn't that right?
Absolutely.
So then along came a federal grant for a 5-year pilot that's very much akin to what's going on here, is that right?
Absolutely, and we were so excited because this is what we do, and this helps us get the resources, because there aren't very many resources to help non-custodial parents, especially if they're the males.
There are certainly people who, it sounds like a great solution, but there are people who say, should the government be offering these services to people who are, you know, behind on child support payments? What about other people who are out of jobs and so forth? What do you say to critics?
I say to critics, I agree with all of that. I agree that we should be helping those that are out of jobs and that are not paying child support, and those that are out of jobs who need to pay child support. What we need to do is help people to be better connected with family. We need to remember dignity and respect for the people that we serve and try to figure out what it will take so that they can have a connection to their kids. There is a huge ripple effect when we talk about dads not connected to their kids, whether or not they pay. There's a ripple effect that impacts when they don't pay, because we have a non-custodial parent that might need to be on welfare services. They might need to get child care. They might not be able to work themselves because they don't have enough money to be able to support their kids. So there is a ripple effect. So by doing it the way that the critics would sometimes suggest we do it, we're not fixing that ripple effect. We're costing huge dollars to the taxpayer because of a sanction rather than a fix-it. So we're digging deeper.
This program, which is being funded by federal pilot dollars, is called Colorado Parent Employment Project, or CO-PEP. At the end of 5 years, which would be 3 years from now, do you expect that you might be able to bring this to scale and all of the fathers you're trying to, or mothers that you're trying to collect money from, could be treated in this way?
We would love to be able to take it to scale. What we've learned is that it will take resources. The normal human service delivery is not necessarily targeted to dads. It's not necessarily targeted to the resources that are needed for housing, for unemployment around the non-custodial parent. So we think we could take it to scale with funding and with some changes in federal and state policy.
Thank you very much, Lynn Johnson from Jefferson County. And now let's see a documentary by filmmaker Steve Liss, which goes inside some of the individual stories of the Colorado Parent Employment Project, or CO-PEP.
Every child, I don't care who they are, every child wants a relationship with their father.
Children have a right to the most resources, whether it's their parents' love, attention, money, time. The more that they have access to those resources, the better chance they have of becoming who they're supposed to be. It's been a long time since he's seen the boys, and so hopefully we're going to see a reunification here very soon. I bet it's been a year, almost a year since he's seen the boys.
We're a team, and that's where the magic happens. Ray brings the support piece. Faith brings the logistic piece. I bring the legal navigation piece. I feel that some of his main issues are parenting time and some of the stuff that he can benefit from the group.
I think that he could use just a little bit of humility, because that's going to open him up to move forward.
Next time I schedule him for something, I'm going to do it when you're around. I think I want you to talk to him about that. And not everybody's paying their child support they're supposed to. Okay, we know that. CO-PEP is designed to come in and say, hey, for those that are willing and they just can't on their own because of where they're at, what happens if we provide some support to them to help them get there? Are we going to do some job search today?
Yeah, see what you got
Just
on the
see-
list and see what opportunities are out there.
So I would start here. So Ray and Dave run the Responsible Fatherhood program. And to me, that is about more of the touchy-feely parts of parenting and being a non-custodial parent, non-residential parent.
Hey, we get to understand through this process and through these conversations and through these groups that, you know what, we're not our father's choices. And we become our own men. And we get to make our own choices.
Bend down. Whoa.
Want to do one more, Colty?
Ready? Bend down. Go. Going.
I mean, on my last relapse, that's where I went wrong, is I didn't reach out and ask anybody for help, and I thought I had it all, and my pride kind of took over and my ego. But today I'm just like, no, it's empowering me.
When he started the program, the communication definitely picked up. It definitely made him aware. There's child support, parenting time, decisions.
Let me measure you.
I like that.
Let's get this one
I like
on.
that.
Hey, Daddy.
Whoa!
It was hard at first. Took a lot of work to get to where we're at, but it helps to be friends and to be able to co-parent.
How about that one?
So obviously Steve's doing well. He's working. I think he's finally getting over the hump of able to handle his finances now. That I think we're going to see his first child support payment this month. He had a couple setbacks, but
the housing,
having to move back into his situation. With his criminal background, it was going to be tough to find him housing that he could afford.
It's empowering me, to want to work harder and just reach out and ask for help. That's probably one of the biggest things.
There's a ton of resources for families, but single men, unless it's an emergency shelter situation, there are not programs to help them get to self-sufficiency when it comes to housing.
How are you?
I'm good.
I go in and the guy's like, well, if you don't mind, let me run your record. I'm not going to charge you an application fee. We'll just see where it stands. He showed me my arrest record. And he's like, I'm willing to work with you. You seem like you're trying to change your life.
So what do you need today then to make that happen?
$300.
Okay. So I can definitely help out with the $300. Let me just fill this out here and then just make sure that I get back from him the receipt.
Right.
The program provided him with that money to secure that housing because I think that's going to be the launching pad for him to self-sufficiency. Let me know if you need anything else.
Okay.
And let me know.
When they come to my house now, it's just like, they're home for the first time.
Inside. Conte sauce. Butterscotch for ice cream.
There's a very intense level of accountability here, and that's because we take the relationship as the case manager and the participant past the surface. This isn't just some meet and numbers thing or just get as many heads in as you can. It's really jumping into the dirt and the muck of these people's lives and helping them get out of it.
Mark Fehervari is another CO-PEP parent and the father of 9-year-old Stephen, who lives in Virginia. Mark was laid off work and then fell behind in payments to the boy's mother. Welcome. It's nice to have you here, and thanks for telling your story, which begins, I guess, when you lost your job in the last year or so.
Yeah, that's right. Fell a little victim to to some layoffs in the industry.
We should say this is the IT industry. That's where you were, what you've been doing.
That's okay. That's correct. So yeah, I've been in the IT industry for 23 years and have had an unfortunate event where I was laid off last year and certainly started falling behind in collecting arrears with child support.
You've been supporting Stephen for 10 years, is that right?
Yeah, right about 10 years or so. I've always been pretty proud of the fact that I've had a career where I could be able to sustain payment and help him and his mother make sure that he was taken care of the best way that I could financially. I took a proactive approach and went up to Jefferson County Human Services and asked for some help. Asked them to help me navigate on what I need to do and bring them up to speed on my situation.
And so what did they do for you?
Well, there's several things. They put me in touch with people right away in the office, and I started running down my situation, obviously losing my job and my skill sets, and then they actually offered services of the CO-PEP program. They said that I may be eligible to qualify to be a participant in the program, and the ball started rolling from there.
So as a participant then you had some access to job leads or different job training?
Well, yeah, that's my advocate for CO-PEP and I started working together regularly, and we were working on various things with our resume building and job leads out of the gate to look for employment. But we also, part of the program is also qualifying and registering for grants for education, which was the route that I went. I've started taking classes again at Red Rocks Community College on the water quality program, so that should
Oh, so that's an industry you see as a more stable one?
Absolutely. In Colorado, I'm hoping I might be able to leverage maybe some of my IT background into that, and get back in with the payments to Stephen's mother.
Where are you, if I may ask? Have you paid any of the arrears, or are you?
Absolutely. I certainly try to pay at least $100 to $200 maybe a month that I can, between the part-time jobs and such. But we're also working together with his mother on effective parenting plan for access to my son.
You're aware, I'm sure, that for years and years, the term for people who are not making child support is deadbeat dad. I think that's probably a term you would not like to apply to yourself. What do you say to other men who may be in your situation, or women?
I think the term is for deadbeat is more than just financially driven. It's having the involvement at a basic level in your child's life, and I would like to see parents, specifically fathers, step their game up a little bit and really participate more in children's lives. Because you can't really put a price tag on anything monetarily versus the time that you spend with your child.
Mark Fehervari is a parent of 9-year-old Stephen, who is in Virginia. He is participating in the Colorado Parent Employment Project.
Something's going on with this guy. I don't know if we're gonna make it. It's done. My car is a little bit old. It's 1995, so it's kind of old, but I use it for work, to go pick up my kids. Well, if I don't have a car, I'll probably sitting at home waiting for someone to pick me up. I don't know. All I want to do is just get home and relax.
I know you were going to say that. Relax. It's just right. It's just right. We're home.
Made it home. I want the best for my kids, I want to go to college, get a career, learn something, doing better than me, I work in construction for about 10, 11 years. It was a big change in my life after the accident. My ex and I getting divorced. I came back to my mother and start thinking about child support. No puedes ver, apúrate a comer. Well, that was really hard for me because no one's wanna give me a chance, no one's wanna give me a try, like I went to so many places to apply, and apply online, in person, here's my application, I'm looking for work. And yeah, just leave it there. We call you when we need someone. Nobody calls me till I get into rehire program. And they told me, yeah, if you wanna work, yeah, we can help you. This will come off. We can use this one. Yeah, that's empty. I got that board factor over there too. I thought I was never gonna work again, and when I get this job and get my first paycheck, I feel great because finally I got money for my kids. I feel like get back to life again. All this that I'm doing is for them. I want them to feel that even in this situation, I'm still here for them.
The weekly support groups, in my mind, is the cornerstone of this whole fatherhood program.
And I'm trying to better myself. That's the thing, is that I'm trying to change my life, and no one else sees that but me, you know? If I didn't want to, then I'd be in jail. I'd have just took the jail time and went to jail, but I want to be there for my son. And I don't have no problem paying the child support, just the fact that he never gets to see me, nor I get to see him, ever.
Just to hear you say and admit where you went wrong, what you could have done differently, is huge. And just that alone confirms for me that right here, you are changing. You don't want to change, you are changing. And so you keep on that path, because if you do the next right thing, the next right thing is going to happen.
They come there for support. They come there to learn. They come there to be strengthened. They also come there to teach.
I always told myself I wasn't going to treat my kids the way my mom and my dad treated me. And the harder I look at myself and my actions, I abandoned my kids twice as bad as my parents did me. I chose my addiction over my children.
What do you choose today?
My kids. I put them first. Even though it's been as long as it has been since I've talked to him, the first thing he said is, "Dad, I love you." Those are words from my kids I've wanted to hear for so long. And now that I have that back in my life, I know I'm never going to lose it again.
They get to see that I'm not the only one that's going through this. And I think that's the real value. And so they don't isolate. They don't go into those depressions that normally people go into if they think that they're the only ones that's going through something. The only thing I want to do is just help them be better dads and hold them accountable, which is what the majority of them want to do anyway. I'm just a vehicle that's going to bring them to the services, that's going to help them understand it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to share your emotion. It's okay not to be where you might want to be, but have a plan to get there.
To wrap up our special tonight, a few questions for Reggie Bika, Executive Director of the State Department of Human Services. This has been very interesting to see what the CO-PEP project is all about. It's happening in 5 counties right now, and it's about midway. What do you think? Does it have a chance for success in other counties?
We feel very optimistic about this project, not only in Colorado, but the potential of changing child support across the country. 272 parents have been enrolled and are participating so far, and of those, over 170 of them have already obtained employment, and 180 of them are making child support payments, some of them for the first time.
I can see that's certainly good news for a lot of families. Give us some perspective, if you will, about child support enforcement in the last 10, 15 years.
You know, if we go back to the mid-1990s, folks might remember the Clinton administration and this notion in America that dads primarily weren't paying their child support. We refer to them as deadbeat dads, right? Well, we created a lot of child support reform across the country that have given child support programs great tools for those parents who have the ability to pay but are not paying. If you have a boat, we can put a lien on that boat. If you are making money but you're not paying your wages, we can garnish your wages. We can intercept your taxes. We can even lock you up and put you in jail. All of which are very important, powerful tools that we can use for those who have resources but aren't taking care of their responsibility with their kids. But what we know is that too many folks in our child support program don't have an ability to pay. They don't have a job. Maybe they're just getting out of jail or prison and trying to get their life in order. They don't have a place to live. They don't have a relationship with their kids. And what we're trying to demonstrate is for that population of parents, if we can help them resolve many of those issues, we think that they'll be more likely to pay their child support on time every month.
You've been at the State Department of Human Services for some years now, and by training a social worker. From your point of view, why is this something taxpayers should be supporting?
Well, the fact is taxpayers are already supporting it. If we have non-custodial parents who are supposed to pay, but they don't have a job, they don't have a way to make income, what we're doing now is using taxpayer dollars to enforce them to do something. It's a little bit like getting blood out of a beet. A turnip?
Or a stone.
Right. If they can't work, if they need some supports to get a little bit more of an education, to be able to get the job, if they need a little extra help, enforcing them, taking things away from them, punishing them isn't going to help their child. It's not going to help them. We have to try a different way. And most people, regardless of where you are in the political divide, understand that and recognize that we have to try some new ideas to see if we can't help parents turn their lives around and ultimately improve their relationships and the lives of their children.
Thank you very much. Reggie Bika from the State Department of Human Services. That completes our special report this evening on child support in Colorado. You may see it again at video.rmpbs.org. Our thanks to reporter Julia Martinez and filmmaker Steve Liss. I'm Cynthia Hessen of Rocky Mountain PBS iNews. Good night.
Our hope is that the demonstration project, not only in Colorado but in the other states, will be so successful that it will convince federal lawmakers to change child support laws and funding mechanisms at the federal level to allow us to expand it throughout Colorado and to other states across the country.